So welcome to Dorset Business Matters. This is the umpteenth edition. The sun is shining, which is a brilliant start to the day. Must be spring.
Absolutely.
So just for the sake of the viewers, can you tell us who you are and what you do?
Thank you ever so much for having me. I am thrilled to be here today. My name's Michelle Reade and I run Michelle Reade Coaching. I've been going for just over a year now. However, I have been helping business owners for the last 17 years. So predominantly I help service-based or health and wellness business owners go from overwhelmed, perhaps a little bit stuck, to go from practitioner to CEO, using 3 strands really: clarity, structure and freedom, to really help them feel like they can live their life without being their business ruling their life as well.
Excellent. So every business owner, of course, starting their business goes through the same cycle, don't they?
Absolutely.
What do I need to know? Who do I need to talk to? What book should I read? Et cetera, et cetera. So what's the biggest challenge you find for people, particularly in the service and health and wellness area? What's the biggest challenge for those newer businesses that you see every day?
I think the biggest challenge for them is they start a business because they do what they love. So it might be a skill. They might want to help people. They might go down the route of counselling. They might go down the route of aesthetics. It might be owning their own gym kind of thing. They do it because they love and they've got a skill to be great and deliver that. Then comes all the other hacks to work as a business owner. Suddenly you're chief marketer, chief social media, chief emotional, HR, operational. So it is being able to learn all of those skills while still delivering and with what you are brilliantly good at as well. But that I find is the biggest challenge for people feeling lost, don't know where to go, and all of those things that you think you should know, which you've never been taught. It does become overwhelming initially as well, particularly when you're so good. The business just kind of takes off like that, doesn't it, as well?
And you've got to keep pace.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's just a bit more on Michelle. So take us back a little bit. So what was your working life like when you first started? What did you do right at the beginning?
Right at the beginning, I left college and thought, I don't know what I want to do in my life, like lots of us that perhaps you're listening to as well, guys. And I thought, well, some of my friends are doing hospitality and catering and tourism. I thought, I love food, I love travel, and I love wine. So I'll go down that route. Past that, got my qualification, absolutely loved it. Had a good grounding for customer service, working with people, helping others, business function. I couldn't stand the hours when I came out of it. I gave it 2 years. The 3 o'clock in the morning finishes, and I like to say come party animal, but it was got a little bit too much. So then I went into retail. Again, customer facing, absolutely loved it. That real thing was starting to come through that I like helping people. So I went into restaurant management for a large retail company. And then after doing that, I've got a little bit itchy feet. I think it's that entrepreneurial streak in me. I was offered an amazing opportunity to become an operations manager, which I adored because, again, a bit like coaching, the role is so varied. I was doing HR, training, budgeting, forecasting, finance, security, stock loss, health and safety. And I absolutely loved it, dealing with so many different people, different functions, and doing something different every day. Again, still helping people achieve things.
And still in retail or still
in retail at that point I was. And I did a lot of work outside in the local community because we were a big retail store in the middle of Bournemouth. I worked with lots of the town centre management board, the chamber. So I had a lot.
Well done.
And a lot of involvement with the local community, and I absolutely adored doing all of that as well. And then I met my partner. And children came along, as they do. And when you're at the point of thinking, my career's amazing, I'm going to keep going. And he was in the forces, so we had the privilege to move over to Germany, which was really good. My German is rubbish though, Simon.
Absolutely.
You can definitely order beer in a bread roll. Absolutely, that was about it.
I've been there.
And I had the opportunity to open a weight loss franchise. An opportunity became available, and I thought, this is brilliant. I can still be at home as a mum during the day. Actually, I can start and set up my own business, doing what I love to do, help people. I didn't know anything about weight loss at the time, apart from that I was always on a diet.
All franchises?
All franchises. Knew nothing about it at the time. So I went into the franchising world, became really successful over in Germany. It was quite a small niche for the people I had to market to over there, but built my own successful business and started running 3 over in Germany. And then my husband was posted, as we called it in the military, to Wales down in Pembrokeshire. And my children were...
Where were you before you went to Germany?
We were in Dorset.
Okay. So Dorset, Germany, Wales.
And then back to Dorset again, which I'll tell you about in a minute, definitely. So we went down to Wales and Pembrokeshire. And again, I adored it. I ran 3 of my own businesses, starting them from scratch again, which, I've done it. I've got to go back and do it again. So all the marketing, all the business development, all the connections, all the people, the building the foundations of the business. And I absolutely adored doing it. So at that point, I was given the opportunity to be one of the local managers to develop the weight loss
other
franchise,
people, right?
to help other people, open the doors to them to do that as well, which I loved, helping people then to be successful in running their own business. And then I came up back to the Dorset area, that's that triangle again, and was given the opportunity to be district manager for Dorset, helping and supporting franchise owners, same company, same organisation. Took the organisation from 120 businesses, weight loss businesses in Dorset, all the way through to 250, which was amazing. Just giving people that opportunity, people that didn't think they could run their own business, people that didn't have the confidence, people that didn't have the skill.
Exactly. So do you think that's why franchises are so attractive, is because I want to set up my own business, but I don't have all the tools to do it?
Absolutely. I think franchising is great, hence why I still do a lot of work in franchising. Now I love franchising because there's a real great support network from the franchisor behind, but you are still given that freedom. You're given the structure to go out and do by people that have already done.
With a recipe that theoretically is proven, and therefore...
Absolutely. So franchising for me, if you're thinking I want to start a business, but Bill, I don't know where to go, it's a really good route to go down.
So for those that don't know what franchising is, and there will be some who are looking to start a business that don't know what that is, just give us a brief kind of overview. How does a franchise work? So
there are lots of different franchises and lots of different sectors. It depends what you want to do. And I'd always say pick something that you love to do. So for me, I'd be looking at franchising shows, looking at the internet, seeing what possibilities are out there for you. I would go and approach them. I'd go and have a chat with them and see if their values align with you. As a franchisor, they will offer you structure. They'll offer you hints and tips, business support, marketing. They'll have policies, procedures. They'll have everything written for you, and also the HR backing, training, all of those kind of things. I love what I do, but I'm not sure about all of these things. Franchisor will have all of that stuff in place to be able to support you to then launch into your local community. And there'll be touch points that they'll give you throughout your journey with them. And it's a really great supportive network of people where you never feel like you're on your own.
It's also surprising, isn't it, who's in franchising? So, I mean, everything from McDonald's down to, I think it was Slimming World.
And swimming companies. And I met a lady the other day and she said, I'm just franchising. So it is an up-and-coming thing, franchising. So, and, there's lots of routes out there if you want to go and have a look into it. But if you're unsure about starting a business, it might be a route that you can go down or start having a look
and relatively low cost to get started. So there's a franchise fee usually that you pay to get started, but then all those tools and things are worth their weight in gold, aren't they?
Absolutely. It will save you hours of time learning. It will save you hours of time writing and contracting out to people as well, which is a huge cost when you're starting a business to build things for you. But if you're definitely feeling that you want to start your own business, but perhaps haven't got that huge amount of confidence to it and feel I need a cheerleading team behind me, it's definitely a route to go towards. And there are so many different varieties of franchising as well. As I said, there's shows that you can go to in London, there's websites that you can look at as well, so definitely have a little look into it.
And the industries they cover are vast, aren't they? I remember the Snap-on franchise, Snap-on Tools, the right boundaries. That's one of the original ones I met, crikey, 25 years ago, probably, when there was somebody running one of those.
Yeah,
so fascinating. So franchising is a great way to get started.
A brilliant way to get started.
Gives you a leg up, gives you a toolkit, gives you a support network. So 100% that's a great option. Okay, so we worked our way through all the franchising. So at some point or another, you decided to jump.
I did decide to jump.
To your own coaching
I did.
business.
And, I was really privileged working for the franchise network that I did. And, I had some things going on personally at home. My daughter came out of education, so we did some home education with her, which I absolutely loved. So I couldn't work at the pace that I was working at before.
Sure.
But I still loved what I was doing, so I needed to keep my hand in, as it were. And my biggest thing, as I've said before, Sam, is helping people and making a difference to them. So I could be at home for my daughter. I could home educate her, coming through the end of her schooling years. And I could still build my own business and do what I loved on the side. And hence why Michelle Reade Coaching was born. It fit with my family. That meant I was still doing what I loved, which I didn't want to give up either, because it'd taken me years to get to that place where I was building trust and things like that.
Absolutely. So we'll come back to the kind of the help piece in a second. So if you just want to switch back to startups and a franchisee.
Yes.
So the level of investment varies on the industry
absolutely
that you go into.
Yeah.
So from a confidence point of view, because you made that point a couple of times, am I confident enough to get started? If I'm nervous about taking that first step, what do I need to have other than the willingness to learn that's going to make me successful as a franchisee? And I ask because you said, I think 120 to 250. That's a lot of new businesses that got started. Why were those women doing that, or those people doing that? Not necessarily all women.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm sure. And what could you add to that made them successful?
I think it is you need to find your right fit. You need to find a franchise that aligns with you and your values.
Okay.
I spent a lot of time before the businesses or the franchisees came on board spending times to make sure that we were aligned, making sure that the franchise was going to fit into their life, them, what they needed as well. So I think that's the biggest thing. Find your franchise fit, make sure they're the right people for you to help and support you on your journey as well, which for me is one of the biggest things, making sure your values align with the franchise or that you're building with as well. So yeah, definitely.
Excellent. And do those franchises last for a period? So is there like a license period? Are they territory driven or are they open?
Yeah. So it depends who you go and see, absolutely. But the majority of franchises do have territories depending supply and demand, like everything, depends how big the territories are. And then again, it would depend on the contract. We would always go into a contract with the franchisor, and there would be, depending again on the franchisor, you would pay them management fees, royalties, whatever you would want to call them, for back continued support as well. But it is the first thing to do is have a little look, see what's out. If you're thinking, I need some support, have a little look into franchising, because if you want to start your own business to have that freedom, it's definitely a way forward.
Absolutely.
Isn't it? Absolutely. It really is.
Okay, so we've started our own business, whether it's franchised or not.
Yep.
So what's the advice to somebody starting new? What are the things they've got to do to build a successful business?
I think for me, and I've been supporting people to run their own business.
And questions.
It was, don't try and fit in with everybody else. Continue to be you.
Yeah.
There's so many structures out there. There's so many frameworks out there. And yes, I believe that we all need them of sorts. We absolutely do. But do what feels right in your gut and continue to be you. Don't try and be somebody that you admire online. Don't try and be somebody that you met down the road. Because do you know what? That is the biggest thing. And I think it gets in business owners' way very quickly of them being successful.
Yeah.
I think as well as that, I think the other thing is ask for help.
Okay.
Don't sit there at home, rocking in a corner or hiding yourself under a bush because you're not sure what to do.
You're rocking journey.
Yeah. If you need some help, say it's social media. If you need some help with marketing, or if you just need to chat to somebody, there are so many entrepreneurs, there's so many business owners out there, locally in Dorset and actually everywhere, whoever's listening to this, that people want to help each other. So do you know what? Pick up the phone, send an email, ask somebody for help. All they can do is ignore you or say no. But the majority of business owners want to help each other. Of course you can. But yeah, ask for help and be yourself. They're the two biggest bits of advice. And do something you love. If you don't love it, it's very difficult to be visible nowadays if you don't love what you're doing. So yeah.
I'm starting my business.
Yeah.
Haven't got enough sales. What's the problem?
Visibility for me. Not going out, letting people know that you're there. Networking is a big one for me. I think one of my favourite stories that a lady told me once is you could stand in the middle of a field with 10,000 or 10 million bars of gold and nobody would come and find you. They didn't know you were there. So yeah, I work on 10 things that people would need to do to really get out there, catapult themselves into the local community. And a big one for me is networking. It really is not easy, can be a bit scary. And
it's terrifying, isn't it?
It is terrifying if it depends which networking group you go to, and it depends on your confidence level. So there's things that you'd need to talk to yourselves about before you go. But networking for me is a really big thing, meeting people. And as well, it's not thinking that you're going to get clients as soon as you walk into a room. Getting clients is relationship building. It might take you 2 weeks. It might take you 2 years before the person might refer to you. So it's that old saying, people need to know you, like you, and trust you. We hear it all the time, but it is so true, isn't it? It really is.
A brilliant tip on networking from previous on the pod. If be the first person to arrive, is when the second person arrives, you've got somebody to talk to.
Good tip.
When the third person arrives, you two are already talking.
I love that.
You come in last when there's 50 people in the room. They're already talking.
Yeah.
It is terrifying.
Yeah, it absolutely is. It is. And I think for me, because I love that tip, Simon, I'm going to use that next time. I think for me, one of the other goals, because I do some training on networking with people, because it is a big thing. I always try and say to people, go in and set yourself a goal that you're going to talk to 3 people. Yeah. Perhaps you're going to, it's not even about saying, what do you do? Which is a common phrase. Go in and compliment somebody. Say, do you know what? Your hair looks lovely. Your handbag's nice. Where did you get your shirt from? break the conversation and be a listener, more of a talker when you're networking as well. Really listen to what other people do, because people love to talk about themselves. And if you're a bit nervous, just have yourself a bank of a couple of questions, set yourself a goal who you're going to speak to. Don't stand by the bar all night with a coffee machine, otherwise it'll be a complete waste of time. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah.
So it's recorded me about the variety of networking there is out there.
Yeah.
There's all sorts, there's the larger kind of more well-known organizations out there, which fit some people and don't fit others. But equally, there's high-level networking, whether it's a room filled full of £1 million directors of businesses or right at the low-end startups. You've got to find your tribe, haven't you?
I did, yeah, absolutely.
It's a really important piece.
It is finding your tribe. And, I've done a lot of training with new business owners over the years. I used to say, God, networking, make sure you've got at least 3 networking events, community events in before you launch your business, all of that kind of thing. And it got to the point where I was launching myself. So I was doing, and what I hadn't done I've been preaching for this amount of time as well. And I went to quite a few networking. I'm quite a competent person, Simon. I'm quite happy to come in. I'm quite happy to chat. That was really out of place. I felt really uncomfortable. And yes, I've got my pitch. Yes, I know what to say. I am who I help and I do this. But I just still didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And I think because we both do such a varied role in what we do, it's quite difficult to fit it into successfully what we do. So I always used to say to people, if you can't find your room, build your own. So I have built my own networking group where I help and support predominantly health and wellness business owners, service-based business owners, to really help them feel comfortable going into those environments, to give them time to have a go, to pitch to each other in smaller groups rather than having to stand on a chair and do it to a room full of 50 people. Yeah, absolutely. They come up, it's the first time they've done any public speaking, they can have a go, but they've got a room full of cheerleaders to really help them with it. And the reason why I've done it as well is because I want to be able to give them some business tips, perhaps if they can't afford the business coaching as well, and to really give them a leg up to get their business going in the community. And it's just taken off. There's a real need for community still. And I think ever since the pandemic, we've lost a lot of it. So a big part of what I do is bringing communities back together. Hence why I organise things like women in business events as well. Yeah, absolutely.
The computer and send emails and not do anything else.
Yeah.
That's kind of the short road to failure rather than success.
Absolutely. And they say, 60% of business owners are lonely, and it's impacting their performance in their business. Hence why I think being in those rooms and connection is key. Yeah. And somebody did tell me yesterday, actually, that being lonely is the same as smoking 15 cigarettes a day, which was like, it just tells you why community is so important, doesn't it? It absolutely does, yeah.
So mindset is something that we talked about again earlier on. How do you deal with somebody who's got a bit of a negative mindset around something like networking? How do you change their view of that so that they can go out and be not necessarily a social, but certainly somebody who can go out and be feel brave in the room to go and talk to 2 or 3 business owners?
Absolutely. And I think that there's a lot of people, I have worked with a lot of business owners that have wanted to hide behind the keyboard because it's their comfort zone. We've all got that comfort zone, and we don't want to go into our growth zone if we don't have to, do we? So I think for me, it's really peeling back the layers. I'm very much peeling back the layers, seeing what's really getting in the way. So asking questions, exploring, and it usually comes down to fear. What if somebody shares? What if they say that? So I spend a lot of time role-playing scenarios, make sure that they know what they're going to say, make sure they've got a bank of questions they can ask somebody else. It doesn't matter what business they do. Make sure that they're in a really good place and not negative. But I think for me, it's making sure that they're equipped, making sure they dealt with their fears around it, and making sure that they know what they're going to say before they go in. And as well as doing that, it's about being at the end of the phone and saying, do you know what, go in, let me know how it goes, ring me when you come out. If you need to go and hide in the toilets, give me a bit of a ring as well, because people do need that support. So for me, I always say it's peeling back the onion. There will all be something in us that is actually stopping you and getting in the way. And a lot of time it's fear what other people are going to say to you, or what they will think. Because imposter syndrome does get weighed up to so many of us all the time. So, yeah.
Self-sabotaging. My first book was all about self-sabotage.
Really?
So we sabotage ourselves.
We do that way. Completely. Yeah.
Okay, so mindset, franchising, we covered quite a lot of areas there. So
yes.
Tell me, Michelle, and what's the end game? What's the real goal for you?
My real goal is to continue doing what I can to help people in the local community. I want to make sure that business is accessible to everybody, not dependent on where you live. what gender you are, what race, all of those kind of things. I want to make sure it's inclusive and diverse. So for me, I want to carry on what I'm doing at the minute, helping as many business owners, service-based business owners that I can, through one-to-one coaching, through VIP days, through events. But ultimately, what I'd love to do is create a space where people can come, where they can get the support that's not going to cost them a fortune, but it's going to give them a real leg up into feeling excited about giving them the skills so they can go out there and grow their own business. Because I think as the world is changing and as the world is growing a lot more, I think, having your own business, being your own boss, really is the way forward. They might do. I'm going into politics at the minute, otherwise we could be here all day, couldn't we? I just want to make sure that business support is accessible to everybody, no matter what postcode you're living in, no matter where you live in the country, that it is accessible, that it's fun, that's exciting, because I think people have that perception that business is boring as well. And you know what? If you're with the right people, with the right coach, it's great fun. You can have a real good time with it, but you can have freedom. You can have the life that you want and you can earn the money that you deserve to earn as well for doing something that you love. So ultimately, creating that space.
So in the health and wellness space, and that's everything, isn't it? From a gym through a, chiropractors all through to whatever else it is that is in that genre. I think the challenge for a lot of those people is, and I'm going to call out some accountants. Accountants' advice is, don't turn over more than £90,000 or you'll have to pay VAT.
Yep.
What else, other than that terrible advice, is holding people back from growing their business? Because I'm sure you know, but there's 5.7 million SMEs in the UK. 4.2 of those are one-man bands. So many employees. The number should be way smaller than that.
It should. Why isn't it? Well, that is a good question.
35 rand. My accountant says don't do this. There's all sorts of things wrapped up in it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think people are using a lot of borrowed authority out there as well. They're following other people. She does that. She does that. He does that. Follow that advice from them. Rather than, I said before, going with the gut. And I think with a lot of borrowed authority, a lot of it works. A lot of it's brilliant. It's tried and tested. But the lot of authority that's out there on the market today, it's not tried and tested. People have, I hope I'm speaking not out of turn here. People have put together practices and things without trying them and doing them themselves. They haven't lived it, so they don't actually know. So I think there's a lot of borrowed authority. I think there's a lot of advice out there without action to back it up as well. And I think because we live in that fear culture, we live in, our lives are ruled by social media, we see things. Exactly. We're not going with our gut. And I think if we went with our gut, we trusted ourselves and had more cheerleaders that backed us in the corner, I think we'd definitely turn that percentage around. I really, really do. So again, go with you, go with your gut. Don't go with borrowed authority. Don't go with what you're being told. Do what you think's the right thing to do.
Borrowed authority, that's a really... She said, do this. I've done it. It didn't work.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not great for business either. Hence, I do have frameworks in my business as well, but actually they're more about feelings, community, courage, growth, community, confidence, those kind of things. We can advise, can't we, on structure and things you can do. Hence why I'm a coach, not consultant, because I want to help people come up with their own ideas for their business, their way, and support them every step of the way to achieve it their way.
I don't have the answer for you, but I'll help you get to the right answer.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No, it's all fascinating. It's engaging.
Our world of coaching has become a little bit kind of, sometimes I feel like, everybody's a coach in something.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter what it is, but ethos that you've talked about continuously there and helping other people, helping people to develop and grow and all the rest of it is at the root of everything we do. Isn't it? And it doesn't matter, I guess, you're coaching the local rugby team or it's exactly the same thing, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Same recipe.
Same recipe for everybody. And I think when you first start in your business, what do they say? Niche down, niche down, niche down. And I found that really difficult. I don't know how you found it, Simon, but I was like, I could just help everybody. And I absolutely can. But I had to really think, who are my ideal client do I love helping the best? Yeah. I've still got clients that are accountants, that are solicitors, that work in other industries. Of course I haven't. Of course I haven't. But it's just that, I don't know. That's my ideal client and I love it.
Well, again, that goes back to finding your drive.
Yeah, absolutely. Particularly what you said. Yeah, really good.
Right, so we talked about startups and what they need to think about.
Yeah.
And the tools that they need to grow. You get to a certain point, and you give somebody the kind of 4 stages, aren't the startup, growth, scale, and exit.
Yes.
that step between startup and growth is a bit of a fearful step.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or I've got a couple of people on board, the business is not growing as well as it should.
Yeah.
What's the recipe to get past that glass ceiling? So a lot of people impose on them.
It's that fear. I think we come back to fear all the time. I'm going to have to put more money into my business to help it to grow. Oh, I'm not going to be able to pay myself an income for the next year. And that comes out of it as well. And again, it comes back to trusting yourself, trusting you get the help and support from people that have scaled. Talk to people that have done it. Pick their brains, get their hints, get their tips, get their advice from it. But it is ask for support, because from being a one-man band, then to having a couple of staff, there's a whole new world that comes with it. Now you have to be a leader. Now you have to be a CEO. Now you have to be whatever. Absolutely everybody. So I think for me, it's getting the help and support that goes with it to be able to scale. And it's that trusting yourself and work through those fears. Get someone to work with that can help you with your stoppers. Until you overcome your stoppers, you're not going to be able to scale. And once you're at scale, it's then putting the foundations in place to make sure when you're ready to exit that you've got a great product and a great business to sell. Because a lot of service-based business owners are service-based, aren't they? We help people, we do things, we use our voice, we use our hands, but it's again, I think, when we're getting to the sale of the business, have we got a team to be able to sell with the business, or have we want a product alongside it, whether you'll be able to sell and exit as well? So there's lots of different areas, lots of different things to be thinking about. Yeah, absolutely. All that strategy. Yeah, all of that stuff.
So what's your best book recommendation for somebody who's starting a business?
I do like Atomic Habits. Everybody always says that to you. Absolutely. I do like Atomic Habits. I think that is one of the best books I've ever read. It's absolutely made me change things. Yeah. There's another book by Jenny Ditzler. I think it's How to Change Your Life in 7 Days. I can't remember the exact title of it off the top of my head. Yeah, very close to that. That is a brilliant book. If you're a little bit lost in life and thinking, where do I go? What do I do? Grab that book. You'll be able to find it on Vintage. You'll be able to get it somewhere quite cheap, but it will massively help you think about what direction you want to go in with your life. It's one of those books that, what is this? Somebody recommended it, but actually really helped me think. It gave me lots of clarity, and it helped me really structure, not just on my business and my career, but also my personal life as well. Because I think sometimes we're thinking career, but actually we haven't got the joy and the purpose as well. Yeah. What is the point? So yeah, that book is another good book. Not one that I often talk about.
It was the same thing. You're put on the planet to live a life.
Yeah.
Not to work.
Yeah.
Work is a byproduct. You have to do that. But if you don't design your life, then your work is never going to be fulfilled.
Absolutely.
Your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is something you see every day.
Yeah, absolutely. So no, it's good. Also love Brené Brown. So yeah.
She's got those two.
Yeah, really great books there.
The most popular. The life of the thing.
Not just me today, is it? I know. But yeah, there's some great podcasts out there. Yeah. Particularly yours as well. Your podcast is great. Absolutely. But there's loads out there. And if you want help and support, there is lots of places to go get it, isn't it? Just making it accessible to yourself to find it. Yeah. So yeah. Thank you ever so much. Thank you for having me. It's great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So getting on. Amazing. Thank you ever so much. Cheers. Thank you.